Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Leftovers podcast. Long time no here, we know.
I'm one of our fans, waiting desperately.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, R1 fan, but we're back. So, you have more stuff to listen to, more good times to be had with us, the Leftovers.
Okay, but what's your name?
My name is Cooper.
My name is Riley.
I'm Paige.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
So, last week's audio may or may not have been deleted.
Well, not last week's, the week before.
Oh, yeah.
By a certain someone who shall not be named.
His name will not be named
His
on this
name
podcast.
will not be named on this podcast.
We will keep his identity a secret.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck him.
But we
He
talked
sucks.
about high school fan fiction. It was a great episode y'all never will see ever.
No one will ever hear it. Honestly, our tag this week was Yangst. The one that I read last week was way angstier than this one.
What? How could you?
In every aspect.
Well, you could just, retell.
I'll have to explain
story.
the concept of fluff because that's what it was.
Ooh.
My favorite fluffy, like a pillow.
Uh-huh. Thanks for that, Cooper.
No problem, Riley. So
Who
yeah.
wants to begin?
Who wants to begin this angst fest?
Well, I have a chonker of a story to tell.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'll
chonky angst. My
Alright.
favorite.
This is in the Boku no Hero.
Oh no.
Boku no, My Hero no, Academia no.
Academia.
Got those macadamias, you know.
I love Deku.
It's called
Uwu.
Heroes of the Dark by Omai Theon. And it actually isn't that bad, but I do have some complaints. Like, it's like an okay fic, you know, it's like fine. It's above average for your fics and crap. However, you're reading from the perspective of Ochiko, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a few years after high school at UA or whatever, and they're all like pro heroes. It's been a year since Deku, her boyfriend's death.
Chapter 1, The Death of Deku.
The death of Deku.
And like the pairings in this are like her and Deku, her and Bakugo, and very, very slight stuff towards Todoroki, but not enough to like actually be like this is an option. Just like, oh, that could have maybe gone somewhere one day, you know, if paths were different. And so this has some villain Deku in it, guys. Everybody loves villain
in
Deku.
my life.
Villain Deku.
And do you know what villain Deku is, Cooper?
I can figure it out.
Yes. The girls love it.
They do love villain.
They're like, ooh, small bean. Like
Evil
evil
bean.
small bean.
Ooh. Evil being.
And
Oh, whoa.
she's like the way Deku died apparently was that they were trying to fight some villain. I don't know who the fuck they were fighting. I'm kind of rusty on this. It's a big chonker fic. And they were like at a cliff over the ocean. I'm picturing it as rainy and like a shitty day, you know?
Yes.
And Deku is like fighting whatever it is in the ocean when he starts like falling to his fucking death because he's like he saves the day, but he's falling to the ocean, but he's completely worn out, so he's like, the water's just gonna take me if I land. And Ochiko's like watching her boyfriend fall, and she's like, ah, he's one of the number one heroes right now. And she was like, Bakugo, fucking throw me at him. And he was like, I don't know if I want to do that. And she's like, fucking do it. So he was like hesitating a lot, but he finally yeeted her at him. And she's like falling to the best of her ability to try to slap her hand on his so they can both float, you know? And she's just free falling. But they barely miss each other, and she's not going to be able to get him. And they're both just going to fall into the ocean together because she's just like, if he goes down, I'm going down with him.
Why?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And to make it more angsty, it's later revealed to her that Deku was about to be ready to propose and everything.
Oh, of course.
And right before they both go into the water, Deku uses his last strength to, like, punch at her for, like, air, so she flies back up, basically, towards the cliff.
Oh,
And they all save her, and she just watches as he goes into the water, and nobody could ever find him.
Was she then like, you fucking idiots. Throw me back in the water.
Yeah, she kept on trying to jump back in, but they were like, let's not let the grieving woman throw herself off of a cliff. And she's like...
That's good of them.
She still lives in the same apartment where her and Deku, were living together, which is depressing as hell, sleeping in the same bed.
Just fucking move. If that was me, I'd be like, I'm out of here.
I'd be like, ooh.
I'd move by the ocean.
And her and Bakugo has gotten a lot closer together since Deku's passed away and everything.
Of course. Well, that's when you gotta make your move,
I know, right?
Bakugo pulls out his ring.
Of course.
And she got a lot closer to Todoroki and everything. But on the night where it was like his anniversary of his death, she gets drunk with Bakugo and he's like comforting her or whatever. She's a crying mess. He like brings her back to the apartment, tucks her in bed, and goes to sleep on the couch like a gentleman, I guess. This is when shit gets
Milady
bad.
Bakugo.
She wakes up the next day. Bakugo's already gone. He's made her breakfast and everything. But she notices her window's open. And she's like, what the fuck? Well, okay, I guess I left it open or something. Man, I have a hangover. And when she's in the kitchen about to eat what Bakugo gave her, she hears, hello. And she turns around and there's Deku looking like, he has a generic villain outfit that all the girls draw him in. It's like the vest with the suit and everything and the tie.
That's so stupid.
I've never seen that, but I can imagine it.
She's like, Deku? You're alive? I'm so happy. Oh, wait, something's about you seems off. And he's like, I'm evil. Like, essentially is what it is.
Away immediately, huh?
I'm evil now.
I mean, she really is like, wow, he doesn't look like himself. He looks kind of fucked up.
Deku, the Dark Lord.
And then he kind of like aggressively grabs her and is like, Bakugo fucking sucks. Society!
Oh no.
The hero society's corrupt. We must break it down and build it back up.
He just turned into Stain.
Okay.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. It's been a hot minute.
And so he basically goes away, and she tells everybody about it. And they have video footage of him coming in and looking evil, and they're like, ooh, that's Deku? Ooh. Well, since he's evil and he's really fucking powerful.
Does he also have, like, pale skin and red eyes?
No, but it would have been
wish he
fitting.
did.
They're like, ooh. So they basically try to, like, keep Ochako, like, away and everything, because they're like, he might come after her. And that's when Deku and a bunch of other villains are, like, they're basically wreaking havoc on the town at certain points. Dobby's in it.
Dobby?
And everything. Mm-hmm.
Like, from Harry Potter?
No.
Oh.
The angsty boy with the burns all over his body.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far.
Well, there's an angsty boy, and there's a theory that he is Todoroki's brother, Toya. That's a theory that some girls really like.
Some girls.
Specifically.
Interesting how you
I'm
narrowed it
sexist.
down to the girls.
And in this story, that theory is a headcanon, alright? Okay. This is important. And they're trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with Deku, because sometimes when he's, like, fighting them and everything, he seems like he's fighting with himself a bit, and he's, like, talking crazy shit, and they're like, ooh. And he's like, I just want to get back together with Ochako, and everything. I also kind of want to kill Bakugo, because he sucks. Why is he a hero? If he's such a piece of shit, society sucks. And at one point, when he's about to cut off Bakugo's hands after a fight, like, they, like, decimated a fucking building and everything, she's like, hey, don't do that.
No.
Don't destroy this man's career.
And he's supposed to kill Todoroki, too, but he's like, I don't want to kill Todoroki. Todoroki's kind of nice. And Todoroki's, like, limply, because he gets beat up. He's like, Dobby, pick up Todoroki and take him with us. And I'll take Ochako with us. Peace, Bakugo. I guess you're not gonna fucking die. And so she's voluntarily kidnapped to go to their villain hideout,
What is their villain hideout? Is it something edgy?
I think it was just, like, a warehouse, essentially.
Right. Oh, that's boring.
And then that's when they meet this man, who's the leader. He's not necessarily physically strong or anything. What he can do is that he can manipulate people's memories And it's really painful, apparently.
Oh, shit.
Especially if you try to fight against it, it's painful and you can, like, fucking die. He used to be a therapist, and he would help people, but eventually, because of some collateral damage that the heroes didn't give a shit, because their main objective in this was, you know, destroy, get rid of the threat. Anything else doesn't matter, is kind of like how it was in the society in the fic. And he lost his wife and child in the collateral damage and everything, and he became a villain because he's a piece of shit. And he's been, for over a year, brainwashing Deku. And they don't know if it'll be irreversible, because even if it is irreversible, he's killed a lot of people at this point, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily his fault if he was literally brainwashed.
But the brainwashing is, like, he's not giving you new memories or anything necessarily. He's just picking out stuff that you've already thought before and putting it to, like, the forefront of your mind and being like, this situation really did happen, but didn't you view it this way instead of this way? Weren't these your emotions type of stuff? And he eventually starts doing it to Todoroki, too. Which I was like, oh man, they're gonna be fucked if it's Todoroki and Deku, right?
Oh no.
And she's, like, in a cell next to Todoroki, and he's like,
Me.
And he's like, just so if I become a villain, just fucking kill me, alright? And I don't want to hurt anybody. And he's like, he has way less work to do on me than he did Deku, because I had a shitty childhood with my father, you know?
Oof, yeah.
So it'll be a lot easier to turn me into a villain. Also, Toya's my brother, and it's implied that he was brainwashed a little bit, too.
Ooh. Evil brainwashing, the fanfic.
Mm-hmm. And Deku's trying to just make his moves on Ochako, not forcing himself on her or anything, but she's like, hey,
Looking good today.
you want to feed grapes to each other like we used to do? And she's just like, I'm so scared.
Do you like this villain outfit, girl?
And she was scared of, like, getting, like, angry at him because she didn't know what would happen if he blew up at her and everything.
She'd fucking die.
And then on the news, they see, like, Bakugo being like, we're gonna get Ochako back. And people were like, did Yaravity go on her own? Is she part of the villains? Ha ha ha. You know, being like piece of shit reporters. And Deku got really angry and he was like, if it wasn't Bakugo's fault, we would be together and all this shit. Bakugo ruins everything. And she was like, I wasn't supposed to wait a whole year I fucking thought you were dead. Like, of course I've moved on. Like, and he takes her outside during a mission, and then he leaves her there because he's like, I need to finish this first, and then we can work on our relationship. Because this is a distraction.
Good to see he's got his priorities straight.
And he kind of, like, fucks some shit up, and then he leaves. And you know the little kid he saves in the fucking anime? He's all like, I was wearing a Deku hat in town when I heard and saw the news of him killing all these people. But my Deku light-up shoes.
Listen, I'd still wear them. I'd be like, here we go.
And Deku had been, like, contacting the kid, like, meet me in the park. And he was trying to explain to the kid,
collected.
Yeah, what was happening. And the kid was like, you're not really being a good person. And Ochiko's like, we're gonna move the kid away from the villain, the crazy guy. And Deku ends up leaving after a fight with Bakugo because the Bakugo keeps on getting the shit beat out of him. Because
he sucks, I guess.
Yeah.
His power is not as good as he thought it was.
And All Might is all alive and just like, so I chose a bad successor, guys. And there's no way for me to pass on the power again unless he voluntarily gives it up. Yay.
He can give it up to his evil apprentice.
And, basically, she comes back and they're all interrogating her and shit, being like, what were the villains doing? And she's like, I just don't know. I was in a cell the whole entire time. Also, Endeavor, you fucking suck. This is your fault, Endeavor. Like, she was going off on him. Like, I know about your abusive life, Endeavor.
You were a shitty dad.
Because you were
and you
a
should
shitty
feel
dad.
bad.
Todoroki's gonna be a villain, you know. And then the next time they see them,
The classic Naruto trope of kids having bad childhoods and becoming villains.
They keep on trying to put Ochako and Bakugo in, like, a cabin away from everyone. because they're like, wow, Deku really wants to kill Bakugo.
Deku sucks.
And Bakugo is like doing like an angsty thing where like, maybe once he kills me, it'll help him snap out of it, you know? And
That's pretty angst.
I know.
Listen, I've never even gotten to the part in the manga or anime where Bakugo even likes Deku.
He doesn't really yet, not that I know of anyway.
Okay, then that's bizarre.
You know, him and Ochako keep on having this like romantic thing happening, but they're like, this is a bad time for us to do anything romantically with each other, to even admit that we like each other. Because the Deku thing's happening, and there's a lot of confusion right now. So they keep on being like, should we kiss? Should we not? I have to be away from you. But I'm so sad when you're gone. You know?
That's every fic. You just listed all of them.
And I was like, okay.
And then Ochako turns into a yandere.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then the next thing they know is, I'm probably skipping a lot of stuff here, is they see that a fucking, like, the UA or something is being attacked. No, this was way ahead. The city is being attacked. Endeavor's fucking agency is being attacked. Because on the news, they see Todoroki in one of Dabi's jackets, of course, to be able to control his heat, apparently. Sends a giant fucking glacier through the middle of the skyscraper.
Oh.
And you're like, okay, he just killed a bunch of people.
Ooh.
And the people that are still alive need to get out, or when that building collapses, it's going to kill everybody inside, and it's going to kill whoever it falls on top of, right? So they all go to fight Deku and Todoroki and shit. And they don't really want to hurt them, and they especially don't want to hurt Todoroki and everything, because they're like, ooh. And Todoroki's all like, I must kill Endeavor! With my brother Toya / Davi. He knows what's best for me.
Okay.
We're gonna bring him down. I'll feel better once I kill my father. And basically, Ochako comes and she's like, if I try to fight Deku and everybody, I'm gonna be like a distraction, and I might feel Deku more. And she's like, me being kidnapped with him and being nice to him made his delusion worse. That was a mistake on my part. She was like, I need to cause him, like, anguish. I need to make him confused and everything. So hopefully he'll either snap in a good way or snap in a bad way.
You know, it's
But
50-50.
yeah, she's like, but everything else isn't doing anything.
A flip of the coin.
It's just making things more firm and beliefs for him and everything.
How could she?
And she's like, but you know, they're kind of right about the society being shit.
Yeah, okay.
But this is a bad way to go about it, is what she's like. And so, instead of going into the fight, since she would be a really good rescue hero and shit, she's like, she goes into the building that's going to collapse, and she starts floating people out when she fights a villain in the building who's at the thing. And she's like, I touch people and they fall asleep. Haha. And they're all going to die in this building. And Ochiko's like, I'm just going to fucking wreck this bitch's life. And she's like, a part of me really wants to kill her, but that's bad. That's a no. I'm not supposed to kill people.
No.
But she's like, but it's really tempting to just murder this bitch.
Jesus.
Just, yeet her out the building.
She should just kill her and run away with Deku so they can live their villain life.
Their dark lifestyle.
Because this girl isn't a villain because she was brainwashed. She just is. She's like, I used to be a patient of the guy. But, because, I'm always, like, evil. And when he was evil, I was like, I liked you, I'll follow you. So she beats this bitch up and sends her with some officers, because all of them wake up once the girl is unconscious, and is like, arrest her and take her to a cell. Goodbye. And she reaches the top of the building, and she's like, ooh, it's gonna fall eventually. I need to get down. I see Todoroki fighting Bakugo. That's interesting. Oh man, I should go help. And she goes to go help.
Yeah, fuck all these people in the building.
I think she got as most out as she could.
Okay. Well, that's nice of her.
Can't always do 100%.
Yeah, when she got in there, she was like, ooh, there's dead bodies everywhere. She's like, ooh, the glacier in the middle of the building is really fucked. She's like, even if we save Todoroki,
He did
a real bad thing.
He's gonna go to bad people jail.
She's like, ooh.
Villain jail.
And so to distract Todoroki from fighting Bakugo, so Bakugo can fight Deku, and whoever else can fight Deku. Ida's there too, and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Mm-hmm. He's been like a best friend rock for Ochako, and she'll be like, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I need to go home." He's like, "Well, we'll get you some clothes." And
No, I need to go home. I don't need clothes.
And she basically slaps Todoroki and is like, "Haha, bitch, you're floating now." And he's all like, I'm gonna use some of my stuff to kind of like awkwardly move me around. And she's like, "When I'm floating, I know how to maneuver. But these bitches aren't used to zero gravity. I am." And they're both kind of like tumbling through like a tumbleweed through the gravity or whatever. And they're trying to fight each other. But neither of them want to hurt each other. Because even though Todoroki's evil, he's like, "Ochako was always there for me. She's a good part of the society, not the bad part." Also, Deku would probably kill and murder everybody gruesomely who hurt her. He did do that at one point, by the way, when she was in the cell.
Wait, what did he do?
He killed someone
Yeah.
while he was in the cell?
When she was in the cell,
Oh.
when they kidnapped her, and she woke up at one point because one of the villains snuck in and just started, like, choking her. And Todoroki's like, he was like, "You're a distraction to Deku." Deku would, yeah, we would be more focused and everything if it wasn't for you or whatever. Oh, and he was one of the people that she put to jail once. So he also had a grudge of that, you know.
Hey, buddy, nice to see you again.
And Todoroki was just in the cell weekly. They had, like, obviously quirk inhibitors on them, like a drug, so they couldn't fight, you know. And he was like, "No, someone, she's dying." And then eventually Davi's like, "Oh shit, we should probably stop that." And he comes in and he's like, "Get off of her. Deku's gonna be so fucking, look at her, she's bruised around the neck. He's gonna be so mad." And Ochiko's just like,
Oh.
And Deku comes in and he's like, "Huh, why is she all fucked up? It's this guy?" And then he just starts pummeling the guy in the face until he's like mush. And Ochiko's
Ew.
just watching him being like, "Oh my god," it's like he's like, you ever seen a kid playing in mud and they're slapping their hands on the mud?
Yeah, that kid
what the
was
fuck?
me.
Yeah, imagine that but somebody's face.
Ew.
And she was just like, Deku, no.
Yikes, Deku.
I don't like this villain,
I
Deku.
really don't want you to feed me grapes now.
Out with those hands.
Sorry,
And
what's the shit with them feeding grapes?
They would, like, toss grapes into each other's mouth for, like, fun, apparently. It
I
was,
don't
like, a couple
remember
thing.
this.
Well, they weren't dating either in this story. They're not, he wasn't about to propose.
No, I remember all of that.
And he, like, comes over and he's like, "It's okay, let me touch you." And she's like, "Don't, you have, like, brain matter on your hands.
Wash
I'm
your
not really
hands
feeling
first,
it."
and then we'll talk.
Maybe just, like, put on gloves, I don't know.
Ew.
But she's fighting Todoroki, and it was a cool battle scene that was described that I can't describe to you. There was
So
just
we'll
a lot
just
of
take your word
eyes.
for it.
Yeah, it was a cool. They were good at writing this battle scene. Eventually, she's about to get the upper hand on fucking Todoroki, and she has handcuffed one of his hands with a quirk inhibitor. Inhibitor.
Yeah. eh.
And she's like, "I just need to handcuff the other one," when he's like, "No, bitch." And ices her leg to the fucking ground. And she's like, "Oh, I can't move. This leg is really kind of stuck."
A little spunky.
And Todoroki's like, "I'm sorry, I have to go do this." And he goes to fight Endeavor with Dabi, you know? And that's when Ida shows
I'm
up.
off to kill my dad.
Yes.
Stay
Thanks,
chill.
And that's when Ida shows up again, and he's like, "Whoa, Ochako, you're kind of stuck." And she's like, "Use your jet lag to break the ice on my ankle."
No,
And
I'll
he's-
get you some clothes first.
Yeah, I know, right? And he's like, that could probably hurt a bit on your leg. She's like, "Fucking do it, bitch. Do it right now." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna kick the ice." And she's like, "My ankle." He's like, "You okay?" And she's like, "I have to be." And I'm like, "Get it, girl. Get it.
Slay.
Slay, bitch."
What a bad bitch.
And so, instead of going to where Deku is, which is where Ida's gonna go, she's going to where Todoroki is because she's like, he's gonna kill Endeavor and he'll never be able to recover from killing his own father, you know. But
Fun times.
she gets there too late because Dabi, like, she gets there in time to see Dabi and Todoroki get the upper hand on Endeavor. Endeavor's just laying on the ground and he's like, why are y'all doing this?
I wonder why.
My son. And Todoroki's like, you mean sons? And he looks over at Dabi and he's like, Toya. And he's like, look, it's your greatest failure and your greatest accomplishment together. Gonna kill you, bitch. You know?
Dab on you.
Dabi on it.
Dabby.
Dob.
And they have, like, I don't know, I guess it's like, I don't know what it was, and I don't know why they had it, but I guess it was like a spear of some sort.
I see.
An icicle spear?
Maybe.
Or just like a spear?
I don't know, because Dabi hands it over to Todoroki.
Oh.
So I guess I'm going to say Todoroki made an ice spear, handed it to Dabi, and Dabi was like, no, you've been tortured the most. Do you want the honors? And Todoroki's like,
ice spear?
And Todoroki's like, yeah, bitch, let's go.
What if he made a second ice spear for himself and they both
They
killed
both
him?
could have done it.
Yeah, they could
Together.
share in this moment. That'd be very beautiful.
And
I think
Endeavor...
Dabi just wants to watch.
Some people are into that.
Yeah.
But Endeavor's just like, I accept my fate. I probably deserve this. And he kills Endeavor. Todoroki's like, yeah, fucking die, bitch. What the fuck is her name? Ochako is just like, no! I was too late! And then both Dabi and Todoroki are just kind of standing there and they're like, this feels wrong. He's dead. But I actually feel worse now.
Oh no.
I thought I'd make the sad go away.
But the sad just got sadder.
And Dabi's like, why doesn't this feel like I always imagined it would? And Todoroki's like, maybe this isn't what I wanted. Maybe I am brainwashed.
So does he like become unbrainwashed after killing his dad?
Yeah, essentially it snaps him out of it. But, you know, he like blew up a little bit, was just like, ice and fire!
Good thing he couldn't have done that before he killed him.
I know, right?
You know, icicle 9/11 to building.
And Dabi's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, it's not all the people he killed, it's his dad
Yeah.
being killed by him.
I guess it would be like one's like a distant thing.
Yeah, it's impersonal to kill a building with
I
a
don't-
glacier.
No,
don't
I mean,
know
he didn't.
these
He only
people.
sees the building, but he doesn't see any of the people in there, maybe.
True.
Or hear their screams.
To be
They're
fair, you probably
moving.
couldn't hear it over the whoosh of the building.
That's true.
And everybody's getting more and more worried because it looks like the building's gonna fall any minute.
Oh, he can just icicle the building. Does he do that?
Maybe. But, he's like, oh, bother. Ochako, I'm sorry. Also, like, my body's, like, broken for some reason. I forgot why it's broken, but it's broken. And Dabi's like, I need to go. I don't feel so... Oh, goodbye, is what he's like.
Bye, bitch.
And Deku and fucking Bakugo are fighting, and Ochiko's like, Todoroki, we need to go and help Bakugo. And he's like, okay, let's go. Oh, I'm not feeling very happy right now.
There's the Yangst.
There's the Yangst.
And they get to him, and Deku's like, Todoroki, I see you successfully killed your father. And he's like, I did. And that's when he starts fighting Deku, and he's like, you've betrayed me? My best friend? And he's like, look, it didn't feel like how I thought it did. It is not good, Deku. Like, we should maybe stop.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Deku.
You're not gonna feel so good when you wake up out of this. And he's like, I thought you would understand, but you didn't.
Oh my
Snap, snap.
God.
He was like, I'm sorry that this wasn't for you and everything.
Forgive me, friend.
And they're just fucking fighting Bakugo. No, wait, Deku. They're not fighting Bakugo, they're fighting Deku.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Where does Bakugo come back in the story, huh?
And Deku's about to, like, end, like, a death blow to Bakugo, you know, like a big old punch.
Yeah.
Big old punch to the chest. And Ochiko's like, no, I need to get in the middle of them. Maybe if I die, he'll snap out of it, you know?
Oh,
that's perfect.
that's pretty angsty.
And she's like, maybe if he hurts me, you know?
Hurt me, Deku.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to say daddy, and I was very upset for him.
I thought about saying Deku Daddy.
Oh.
I refrained.
I'm glad.
I'm glad, but we all still said it anyways.
And then
You can edit that part out.
Someone pushes and takes the hit for Bakugo, and they fly, and their body like limply rolls to the ground, and everybody's horrified. Deku's horrified that he just punched Ida in the chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fucking Ida, isn't it?
And Ochiko's like, "Ah, my best friend!" And she runs over to Ida. He's not breathing. And she's like cradling his dead body. And Deku's like, "Ooh, I didn't want to kill Ida. Ida was a good part of society. You know? He's not one of the ones I wanted to kill. Let me come and try to be like, hey, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Don't touch me." You know? She's like, "Go away." And he's like, "Oh, ah." And he runs away.
Does he snap out of it?
No.
The brainwashing?
Of course not.
But he's-
No.
Ida.
He's just like,
Secondary.
he's shaking and he's like, "What? No, this isn't right. This isn't what's... Bakugo, this is your fault." You know?
Of course.
It's Bakugo's fault.
And he
You think
leaves.
he like...
Would
You think
realize.
when he like drops a jar of like pickles, he's like, Bakugo!
That's what it
This was
sounds
your
like.
fault.
He's blaming everything on Bakugo. And he fucking leaves. And everybody's like, "No, Ida." And that's when the building starts falling. And she's like, "Todoroki, I need your help. Bakugo, throw me again, just like at the cliff. But this time don't hesitate, bitch." And he's like, "Okay." Toss.
Yeet.
And Todoroki does another icicle to keep the building stable, you know, again. And she slaps as much as the building as she can that's falling to, like, gently lay it down. But it was obviously a lot of work, and she couldn't get all of it because she has a maximum capacity of how much she can carry. And when she got down, she's like, "Oh, I'm, like, bleeding internally."
Oh.
And Todoroki's like, "I'm all fucked up, too." And they all, like, crawl to where the heroes are, and the heroes are like, "All right, now let's arrest Todoroki." Haha. You know?
I mean, yeah.
And they'll be like, "We'll visit
Yeah.
you in your jail cell." And because this isn't right, this doesn't feel too good, Mr. Stark, you know?
Ooh.
And his family finds out what happens and everything, but they're like, "We'll still love him, but ooh, boy, this is weird."
This is a chonker and a
Yeah.
bad situation.
You were brainwashed, but you did choose to act on the brainwashing, so it's not good.
That's,
Hold on.
Hold on.
You don't get to choose to act on the brainwashing. Hold on.
The brainwashing is
Where's
to control
the
your
brain?
How hard is the brainwashing?
Very hard. Like, it's
Oh.
a type of brainwashing where you're brainwashed and you might fucking die if you fight it too hard
Mm-hmm.
during the process. And he keeps up, like, if somebody is slipping, you know, a little bit out, he'll be like, "You need another session."
Oh, God.
Let
And
me
they, like, chain them down to a chair and they're like, "Oh!"
edgy, angsty,
That is
intense.
angsty. I'll say that.
And
Don't fight it, kid.
don't fight it.
Kill this man. Feed into your urges.
Oh,
And they
God.
visit him in
Avoid
the jail
the pain.
cell. And they're like, "Y'all guys aren't allowed to get close to him." And she's like, "Suck it, bitch. I'm gonna hug him."
I'm gonna hug him.
And there's a lot more angst and a lot of the same questions being repeated. And this fic is unfinished right now. Another attack has happened at the UA, and another building's gonna fall. And she runs into Dobby
not
there.
2 buildings.
I know. She runs into Dobby there, and she's like, "Are you gonna attack me?" And he's like, "Oh, I fucked up." Dobby is like, I'm the older brother. I should have been the one to kill Endeavor, to take the responsibility and blame. But
I mean,
he was like,
did you icicle 9/11 a building?
I know, and he was like, I shouldn't have pushed Todoroki towards
Did you
this.
kill your
I
dad?
thought it was what was going to be the best for both of us, but it's not. And he's like, "I'm here attacking other villains, not you, but I'm going to just go." And then he starts walking away, and he stops, looks over his shoulder, and he's like, "Tell Todoroki that never mind, it doesn't matter anyway." And he walks away, and I assume that's the last we're going to see of him, right? Then one of the police officers go to Todoroki's cell and was like, "We need all the help we can get. But you're kind of like, we don't know if you're going to slip back into the brainwashing or not." And he's like, "If I even look like I'm going to slip back into the brainwashing,
Kill me.
just kill me." And he was like, he said, "Kill me. or put a device on me that will just stop my quirk.
You know, 2 options.
2 options. I'm cool with either or.
They're basically equal in my mind.
And that's
one's more angsty than the other, more fitting for this fan
You're
fiction.
right.
And that's where the fic has ended. And my one complaint about the fic is that a lot of scenes and stuff, even not the fighting scenes, just like the in-between stuff and talking about their feelings can drag on like a Dragon Ball fight, you know?
Ooh.
Where they'll be like just going on forever and then one thing happens. And a lot of repetition happens in the story where they're repeating the same issues. I feel like I'm viewing a lot of the same scenes, just in a different location, you know?
Yeah.
That's my only complaint I have. But other than that, I like how it's written and everything.
So how would you rate this
you rate
page? How many, whatever
Pages
scoring
out of
system?
I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars on well-writtenness. Because there's not a lot of mistakes in everything that they make. It's very few. I'm doing this based off of fan fiction, not real
Of
books.
course.
Yes.
Real books have higher standards.
Much higher standards.
And out of entertainment, I would give it like a 3 out of 5 stars because, like I said, a lot of the repetition and stuff, and I just feel like I want to skip past all that and get to where the story is actually moving.
Yes.
I feel that.
I don't know
I feel that too.
how it's gonna end though, because I'm like, what's gonna happen to Todoroki, you know, because this is all fucked, right? He icicled a skyscraper.
Icicle 9/11 to skyscraper.
And killed the #1 hero. And also, there's Deku, and he's killed a lot more people, you know?
Yes.
And,
Deku's more of a threat.
yes. And he's also very dangerous, but he also has All for One. Like, even if he snaps out of it, I'm sure he's gonna be like, I have to give All for One to someone else, which sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm like, and is Ochiko gonna end up with him? Because it doesn't feel good to end up with either him or Bakugo at this point because of all the angst going along. And Bakugo was like, I've been a fucked up person.
You know, Bakugo murdered a bunch of people. Or, I meant
Deku.
Deku. Oops.
How could you confuse those two?
How could
And then
I confuse those two?
I know at one point I was like, maybe she could end up with Todoroki, but then I'm like, oh no, Todoroki just killed a shitload
Yeah,
of
I
people
don't
too.
know.
Yeah.
What if she ended up with Dabi?
I'd be like, no.
Ooh.
Just out of left field.
Like, the Todoroki one was pretty, like, far left field, you know, and I was like, okay, there's no one. Maybe in this fic she's gonna learn to be an independent woman, and that all the men surrounding her are pretty angsty and stupid, you know?
And then she becomes a lesbian.
Maybe. There's Aisu, you know?
Yeah.
That's the angsty fic.
That is the angsty fic.
That one's pretty angsty.
Yeah, I'd give that, a decent amount of angst out of angst.
Yeah.
Like, how many razor blades of angst is this?
Also, Deku's mom is in the story where they'll be like, hey,
Oh,
good
that's
news.
bad.
Your son's alive, as you've probably seen in the news. Bad news, he's murdering
He's
everyone.
a villain.
Ooh.
Whoops.
And she's just like, oh,
My boy.
I'm glad he's not dead.
Oof.
Oof, big oof.
Imagine having to tell someone that in real life.
Yeah, your son's alive, but
They murdered a bunch of people,
he is
and
a
they have
bad
no
guy.
plans to stop.
Good news, he's brainwashed. Bad news, it's really good brainwashing.
Good news, like, it's not necessarily his fault. Bad news, that will not hold up in court.
Also, probably not on someone's conscience either. Because, like, even if I was brainwashed, if I killed hundreds of people, I would be like, I feel really bad about that.
I'm gonna fight this
Yeah.
brainwashing. Ow! So who wants to go next?
I gotta go next because I have nothing on mine. Okay,
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why I decided upon this. There are a lot of factors which a lot of factors which led me to it. Okay, so I was scrolling through the angst tag on AO3 as you do.
As you
I was
do.
just saying a lot of shit I didn't want to read, like fucking, what's that show that all the girls like with the boys who they think are gay, but they never
Free.
actually are gay?
Haikyuu.
No, it's
Dance
not
with
an anime.
Devils.
Supernatural.
Oh.
There's a lot of these.
Yeah, there are. But, like, there was just a lot of that. Like, I feel like it was majority that and K-pop, and I was like, I can't read either of those things. I want to die.
K-pop.
So I was like, Paige, I don't know what to do. And she was like, you should read a RWBY fanfic. Blake's a really angsty character, and I was like, you're right.
I was like, surely any character, any fan fiction with Blake will be angsty.
Yeah, I was like, that definitely follows. It didn't follow.
No.
I went to the RWBY fandom page and looked through the angst fics. And this was the one I thought would be one of the angstiest ones with Blake in it. So I was like,
spoilers
let me
for
read
RWBY,
it.
probably.
This is just from the plot of RWBY. This is not an AU. So there will be spoilers for RWBY. But that's not because they're in the story. That's because I feel like I need to explain the plot to Cooper for him to understand
You
this.
do need to explain the plot to me.
Well, good. Let's have a discussion about
Let's
the
talk about-
nonsensical plot that is RWBY.
Let's talk about RWBY. Let's talk about that rooster teeth thing.
The main ship for Blake would be Yang, who's a part of RWBY.
Yes, that is what this was.
And she lost an arm to save Blake's life.
Yes.
Angsty.
And just in the last season, there was no indication of a relationship all the other seasons. But in the last season, they were like, relationship.
Oh boy.
They held hands, and then it ended.
Did she hold her robot hand or her real hand? I can't remember.
Only one of them
choice.
counts.
Huge spoiler, guys. Huge spoilers for RWBY. But they held hands after they killed Blake's ex-boyfriend together.
Okay,
What?
that's the reason that they're angsty, is the ex-boyfriend.
What?
I want to show you him.
Why did they kill the
I want to show you an
ex-boyfriend?
image of him.
He had been wearing a mask in all the seasons, and he
I'm
looked
going to show you
kinda
the mask.
cool.
Here he is.
Yeah, that looks kind of
His voice acting sucks ass.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Okay, and then, so they're going through, like, the seasons, and he's like, Blake. Okay, so the whole, like, his whole ideology.
my love.
He's a faunus, which is just a human with an animal part. That's the only difference.
Okay, what animal
He has
part?
little horns on his head.
Because he's a bull. His name's Adam Taurus.
And so there's, like, racism and shit between the humans and the faunus.
Okay.
And he's like, we have to destroy human society. Like, racist.
Does he sound like that?
Brothers of the White Fang.
And Blake sounds like Brothers of the White Fang.
The way I'm describing his voice actually is more generous than his actual voice
At one
acting.
point, he says to her, he goes, "Why do you hurt me?
Why'd you hurt
My
me?
love?"
Oh no.
Okay, one of the reasons why he's so funny and I can't take him seriously is his shitty voice acting in the show. It's like, it's so
You're probably
bad.
gonna
It's
piss
like,
off some
"Oh,
RWBY fans
I'm
with
like-"
that.
Okay, listen, they're sensitive, but they have to accept this reality, okay?
Don't get me wrong, I love RWBY.
I enjoy the show, even though I don't think it's, like, very good.
Same. I enjoy it a lot, though. I'm looking forward to the next season, you know?
Yeah, I was reading this and I was like, can't wait for the next season. Even though the plot is fucking what the fuck.
I'm committed to it, you know?
Yeah.
Too far in to give up.
Oh, my love. All the time. And he's basically trying to convince Blake to come back all the time to the White Fang. He's like, come back and we'll destroy human society. And so that's their whole conflict, right?
You know, I imagine him kind of sounding like my older brother, because sometimes he sounds like that.
Oh god, he does not actually sound like this, but we're gonna ignore that.
That's a better voice than what he has.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
more intimidating. Okay, but then, anyways, like, Yang comes into this conflict. She's trying to, like, help Blake out at some point.
She's a busty blonde.
She's like, I'm gonna fucking save you from this guy. But he has, he has the red katana, of course.
Oh.
And he, my
The red
lost her
katana.
arm off when she's trying to save Blake. Okay? And Yang's like, oh god! And she loses her fucking arm. She's really angsty about this for a long ass time. Like, she gets depressed and emo about this missing arm.
Oh,
As
no.
you would.
Yeah. And
But she
eventually
looked
gets
great.
She looks great with
Not
the
because-
robot arm, I gotta say.
And the outfit she was wearing when she was depressed looked great.
And that's what really matters.
Depressed fashion is best fashion.
Me, anyways.
Yes.
And that's how, like, their whole conflict together starts. Like, they're both trying to get Adam, and he's just like, oh, come back. I'm gonna kill both the girls.
There's also some angst between Blake and Yang because when Blake woke up again after getting her arm chopped off. Wait, I
Yang?
fucked up the names. I always mix up their
Blake
names.
was fucking, she bailed.
Yeah, Yang woke up after her arm being chopped off. Blake was nowhere to be seen.
She's a flaky bitch.
And I'm saying, if I lost an arm for one of y'all guys, you better be there at my bedside being like, thank you, when I wake up. Oh, Paige.
Oh, Paige. Sorry about your arm. Listen,
There,
it'd be
there.
worse in real society because you can't get like a perfectly working robotic human arm that's like, psh. So that'd be kind of tragic. But
Why don't you just regrow your arm like a lizard? Duh.
I mean, could Lizard Faunus do that?
yeah, that one girl, could she do that? But anyway, so that's their whole like conflict, and they're like angsty. They have this backing angst of the fact that Blake just failed, and Yang's like, you left me with my
How-
fucking no arm self, you
How
fucking
dare.
bitch.
How dare they?
So this would take place at some point in the latest season, I guess, before their relationship started. I think it would be the episode when they were in like the cabin. Do you remember?
When they were
In the snow.
Oh, I know what exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, and they go into that
So
little
this would
farm
be-
garage.
Yeah, if they actually had a discussion about their angst in that episode.
Yeah, because at one point in that episode, when they're in this barn garage, they're like talking together, and Yang has like PTSD about Adam, obviously.
It's like, Adam.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he cut off my arm really quickly. You know?
Oh my god.
It was just there, then it wasn't.
The
your
red
dreams.
katana.
And when they're talking about facing Adam together, Blake is just like, it's okay.
I'll protect you.
I'll protect you. And Yang was like, what the fuck
What
did you
the
just say to me?
She didn't like that at all. She was triggered.
Ooh.
She was like, excuse me, bitch.
Excuse
Where have
me?
you been? But this, listen. So Yang is like in the basement. And she's like, oh god, I'm so anxious about the situation. I'm just so emo about life. And my relationship with Blake right now is about to say blank.
Blank.
Blank. And she's like,
Fitting.
oh god, I want to deal with this angst, but I don't know how. And this good role model, Mr. Crow, walks in and he's like, I know how to deal with angst. Alcoholism.
What?
He's an alcoholic in the show.
And he's like, you vulnerable teenager, take this alcohol. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, you're a horrible role model. Like, Jesus.
She chose
So
to
she's
listen
like-
to him?
No, yeah, she was like, yes,
She's
I
like,
guess I'll get drunk.
My uncle knows what he's talking about.
So she gets
Uncle
drunk
knows best.
with Crow.
He's spelt with a Q, by the way.
Oh, what? Wait.
Yes.
Crow? Like
Yes,
Q-U?
I
No,
hate the
Q-R.
spelling.
Q-R-O?
W.
Listen, he's such an angsty character.
I mean,
Because
Mr.
his-
Crow. That's
His
pretty angsty.
fucking semblance, which is just how they say power, is that when he's around other people, he causes them bad luck.
That's pretty angsty.
So he just has the baggage all the time of being like, I hurt everyone around me.
Drink.
Listen, this is why I thought this would be angsty, because everything in RWBY is like angsty, right?
So much angst material.
So much.
already.
I've heard a lot about the show, and a lot of it is pretty angsty.
Yeah, but this just became like,
Yangsty.
Yangsty.
thank you for that.
You're
I was
welcome.
waiting
Blanksty.
for someone to make that pun, I think.
Yang would have liked that. She makes puns.
She's just like drinking her problems away, and RWBY comes down. She's like, oh god, you're fucking drunk. Why did you do this? And she's like, oh, look, I gotta take you upstairs. This is problematic. So she's taking her upstairs. At the same time, Weiss is in there with Blake like, why did you run away? You weren't supposed to do that. That was bad of you.
It was pretty bad.
So everyone's like trying to work out their problems. It's so not angsty. It becomes so woo because like they all run into each other and they're like, is she drunk? That's not good. And Blake's like, oh god, she's drunk. I have to deal with this. I'll watch her overnight, woo, while she's drunk to make sure she doesn't hurt herself. And it's just like, yeah, that's how that works. I see what you're doing. So Blake's hanging in there while Yang's like half dead on the bed, like, oh.
Like she should have been earlier.
Yes. And she's just trying to rehearse what she's gonna say to her, like, oh god, I'm so sorry about this, but I missed you, ooh woo. And it's like, it just becomes so ooh woo because she goes over to the bed and it's like, because Yang's having a nightmare, like, Adam's like, Saw, I'm in your dreams, bitch! And she's like, oh god, let me comfort you in this nightmare. Classic woo fanfic shit, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Very classic stuff. And they're just like, oh god, we should talk about our problems together. And Adam, and like, I left you. You did leave. And so they gotta like discuss their problems, and they have a nice, mature discussion about, you know, leaving each other and the effects of that, and then they kiss. And that's the whole fanfic.
Sounds like angst than fluff.
It was so much fluff. They used the tag angst on AO3 they used it fucking wild and free. They don't care. They don't give a shit. There's like someone sad at some point, angst.
I guess this is angst.
It's good to showcase the various like levels of the tag is what I'm gonna say to excuse my actions.
Well, what level would you say this is?
It was like
Give
one
it a
razor
number.
blade out of 10, like Jesus.
One razor blade.
But hold on, so the whole reason behind their angst is Adam, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like threatening and intimidating. This is what he looks like. This is his fucking face. He looks like a fucking dork.
It was very disappointing when they finally revealed his face.
Aww.
Like, the whole time me and Paige were watching it, we were like, he's gonna look so dumb when they take off his mask. Like, oh my god. But we were also like, what does he look like?
Did you say the name of the story you read in the author, or are you keeping that on the DL?
No, I can't. No, I'll post it because it was like, it was fine. It was just like cute woo shit, but I don't have it on me, so it'll just be in the description.
Down below.
Hey.
Down below. But
Don't
yeah,
forget to like and subscribe.
He has a fucking mark on his fucking face.
Skinny Dust Company is what that stands for.
Like, could you be any more obvious? Could you be any more angsty? Like, holy shit.
A dorky mask to hide a dorky mark for a dorky
And look at his
voice.
stupid outfit. He's got a zipper pocket. Why am I supposed to be
Wait,
scared
does he also
of this
have
man?
zipper arms?
Yes!
He has, like, rose designs on him, and instead of being, like, the main character, RWBY, who has, like, rose petals, he has, like, wilted rose petals.
Like, oh my god.
Oh,
a red
angsty.
katana.
Ugh.
His character's design just bothers me, okay? It's just so emo. It's so...
I just think, like, they told the
Ugh.
character designer, like, hey, I'm gonna give
Go
you
all out.
I'm gonna give you a word. Edge. Go for it.
I think they were like...
Angst.
Do you remember what, like, DeviantArt OCs looked like back in 2014? Can you make me one?
I don't remember, but I know what they look like now.
My favorite thing is they have, like, a bunch of trailers and stuff for the show and little shorts, and they had a short with Adam and Blake, and it was, like, the first time Adam showed up, and everybody was like, oh, who is he? He's gonna be in the show? He looks so cool. And then my favorite thing is reading the comments. They're like, you remember when everybody thought Adam was gonna be cool?
I love the people that watch the show and are aware it's kind of bad. Because I feel like, listen, don't be offended, fans, but so many of you are deluded into the idea that it's a really good show.
It's not.
It's not. Like, it's okay at best.
It doesn't sound like a good
entertaining.
show.
Its plot is really it's more anime than anime plots. Like, it's so...
Oh, shit.
I feel like there's a lot of holes in it, you know?
Like, when did they introduce, like, the season witches?
Oh, they introduced that season 3 or 2. Which one was the one where fucking Beacon
Had
fell?
to be 3, right?
Yeah. That was the best
Fell at the
season.
end of 2. But that part of the plot is so, like, a 14-year-old wrote this. This part about,
They found
like,
a fan
there's
fiction on
a
AO3
witch for every
and animated
season.
it.
The Spring Maidens and
The maidens.
When are
That's
y'all
it.
gonna start the RWBY podcast?
It would just be us kind of, like, making fun of every episode.
Just make a podcast.
But I do enjoy the show.
I
episode
love
by
the show.
episode.
That's a show that I could make a podcast about. Also, Criminal Minds.
Ooh.
I like
Criminal
the show
Minds.
enough that I'm rewatching it with my brother and his girlfriend. And, you know, I'm like, hey, well, let's watch this.
This'll be funny.
They have good fight scenes. The fight scenes went down a little bit, but they've picked back up.
Yeah. Also, the animation got a lot better. Like,
They got
holy shit.
better character models. Everybody, like...
Everyone got a better outfit.
Also, I noticed that it felt like after they upgraded the character models, everybody looked tanner, and I don't know if that's just because
That is what happened.
stuff happened, or if there's, like, a little, like, black underskeleton
One thing I have to
them.
complain about, you know, they use a lot of the same, like, character models or whatever, and just change the hair and eye color and
Well,
shit.
that's how most
Yeah.
anime works.
There's one that all the guys have that looks so stupid in their profile. Like, it looks so bad.
Also, like, unless they're a child, all the guys' heads are much smaller than the girls' heads. All the girls are bobbleheads, and it's amazing.
Oh, that's fucking true. There's a lot of problems.
I
just want to shit on RWBY now.
It's a great show, though. I love it.
It's
I have hope for the next season with the new voice actor for Crow, because it was Vic Mignogna.
Oof. Yeah.
Ooh, poor Vic.
That's a big
Poor
oof in
Vic.
itself.
Big oof.
Indeed. But if I had to rate this, I don't know, I'd give it like, I was about to use your rating system, but you're a coward. I don't know, I'd give it 5s for both. It was just, like, there were several spelling
5s
errors,
out of
but
10.
not a lot. Yeah, like 5 out of 10.
Not as good as I want to ask you a question.
That's honestly, you know, the magnum opus of fan fiction right there.
Listen, my rating is the old YouTube star
It
rating.
is. That's what I imagine when you say it.
I like
Oh
it.
shit, I remember that.
Those
Yeah.
are the olden days,
Mine
back when I
did get
didn't
rid of
use
it.
YouTube.
So elderly. I used it to watch Sailor Moon.
I used to watch YouTube poops when those were popular in like
No.
2008 and 9
No.
and 10.
You remember those songs that everyone liked in middle school, like the Badger song and shit?
Yeah.
That's what I watched.
I watched those too. And Charlie the Unicorn.
Yeah, and Llamas with Hats.
Llamas with Hats. Carl.
Carl.
Baby
Carl.
hands. What baby hands? Tell us about your fic, Cooper.
I will. It's another Nightmare Cure fan fiction.
Oh, thank God.
It's actually called A Cure for Nightmares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's
Subtle.
by Chewy Sugar. It's a Harry Potter fan fiction because I was trying to think
Yes.
of what fandom should I go with, and I look at my bookshelf and I see the ultimate Harry Potter fan fiction, The Cursed Child, which I had to
Yes.
read for a college course, and it was awful.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hated it.
That-
I gave up like halfway through and just schmooped the rest of it, and even then I was like, oh god, I hate everything that's happening.
That's bad.
I'm glad I've purged most of the plot from my mind.
Good.
It was dark times.
Tell us
2
all
years
about this
ago.
Harry Potter.
Dark days, dark days.
Well, this takes place after the Battle of Hogwarts.
Oh shit.
And
course.
Ron has PTSD.
Post canon.
Of course he does.
Post kid. He has PTSD, and, you know, Harry and Hermione are at the Weasleys, you know, just having a good time, just staying over there, when Harry hears a bunch of noises in the night. So he's like, whoa, what's going on? And he sees, like, Ron apparently sleepwalking through the house, or sleep running, because he chases Ron, or Ron just runs out of the house and Harry chases him. and I guess Ron tries to fucking drown himself in a pond.
Me.
That has like this monster in it, and Harry like saves Ron. He's like, Ron, what the fuck? What's going on, man? And
PTSD.
Ron's just like, don't worry about it. I was sleepwalking.
Surely you can magic away the PTSD, right?
Yeah, just like how the wizards used to magic away their poop.
Yeah.
Thanks, JK.
Thanks.
You.
Thank you so much for this wonderful world building.
Love it.
Yeah, and so the next day, Harry's like, hey, you know, or he's talking to Hermione, and I guess they're eating, like, magic mushrooms.
Of course.
Well, not the drug, they're just magical mushrooms.
Yes.
Not the drug.
Not
just magical mushrooms.
They're just magical mushrooms.
Unrelated.
And Ron, and is it Bill? Yeah. Bill's not the one who died, right?
Right. He's not a twin.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So Ron and Bill, I guess, are fixing a fence, and Harry's like, something's up with Ron. And Hermione's like, well, he has PTSD. You know, his mind has been broken by the things he has seen.
Okay.
This is a short fan fiction, by the way. I think it's like 10,000 words
That's how long mine was.
or so. And so she's like, you know, you just gotta talk to him. You know, you gotta talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
I read this like a week ago, more than a week ago, so some of the details might be hazy, but I'm pretty sure this is how it goes.
Ooh.
I'm like 95% sure. Just putting it out there. So Hermione's like, you know, you just gotta talk about your feelings. You gotta comfort Ron, you know, you just gotta be a good friend. Be there. And Harry's like, but how can his mind be broken, you know? You just magic away the pain. And Hermione's like, well, it's not that simple.
You can't magic away the pain.
The pain is there and it's real.
You can't magic away the memories, you know?
I mean, you can, actually.
You can't. Well, they talk about this. So they're... so Harry's like, well, you know, the Muggles, they use drugs. The magic away the pain. And Hermione's like, well, you know, those people, they get addicted to the drugs. The drugs aren't going to work, you
Are
know?
there, like, magic drugs?
Yes.
Potions. Those are basically
but, like,
magic drugs.
Addictive and with bad symptoms.
Well, you know, I can imagine, but, you know, J.K. Rowling, the goddess
I would
herself,
imagine
has not,
she'd be
like
she
yeah, where are
wouldn't
the
allow
magical
that.
drugs in Harry Potter?
But at the same time, if she was like, Harry became a magic drug addict, I'd be like, that sounds like something she would say.
I love that. Me as a wizard.
You as an author, you know, they just had drugs and they magic away the addiction.
Yeah.
Poof.
Just poof away all your problems.
Surely you could poof away the negative effects of the drugs on your body.
Surely, but according to this fanfiction, it's not that simple. You know, you can't magic fix a mind. Okay? Yet. So Hermione's just like, yeah, you know, Ron's mind is a little fucked. Just go comfort him. You know, have a talk.
Yes, as it cures everything.
And then there's like a little fluff section with Harry basically having the same conversation with Ginny. It's at like the end of the fluff section.
Yes.
Is like, and then they got all lovey-dovey, and Harry had a hard-on, and I'm like, whoa. Okay then.
As talking about your feelings does.
You really amped that up.
It gives me a hard-on. So.
Oh yeah. You know it. And then after that, it's like, oh yeah, in between like each of these sections, it's like Harry and Ron, or Ron just like not being able to sleep, and Ron just being, you know, PTSD.
Yes.
Like,
as you are.
you know, waking up in a cold sweat, not sleeping on the floor, not being able to sleep, having nightmares. So the end of the fic, Harry's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna confront Ron about these feelings, about like what he's going through, because by this point, you know, Harry hasn't like outright asked him like, what is wrong with you? Okay, okay, are you okay? What's going on? And every time, well, Harry tries to ask this, but Ron's just like, oh, it's nothing. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry basically finally asks Ron, what's going on? You know, you're not okay. We need to talk. And Ron's like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Come on,
No,
Ron.
nothing's wrong. And then he like freaks out on Harry, and he's like, come on, let's just jerk off together like we used to.
What?
Yes, this happened.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, Riley, you want to jerk off together like we...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Ron finally spills the beans, and he's like, it's just hard losing the people you love.
One of
Yeah,
them was his brother, so that
I just can't stop having all these nightmares about the battle.
So he wants to jerk off about that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I guess they have this heart-to-heart, and Harry comforts Ron by...
Heart-to-heart, but what about a heart-to-heart?
Oh, I'm getting there.
I thought about it, but I decided not to say it.
Thank you.
So, like, the end of this fan fiction, they agree to jerk off together like they used to.
Like they...
Yeah.
However, only Ron does the jerking off.
Oh.
And Harry just kind of sits there.
I told you some people are into that.
Gotta watch.
And that's how it ends. So I guess after talking, Harry was like, I'll be here for Ron just this one time to make him feel better about his PTSD.
He didn't even touch him a little bit?
I don't think so.
It's kind of sad.
But that's it. That's it for the fan
I
fiction.
didn't expect to
That's-
let's jerk off like we used to.
Yeah, it was pretty well written. Give it a 8 Coopers out of 10.
Alright.
Maybe a 7, because like that, there was some weird like sex stuff that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
7
well, very
Coopers
well.
out
Gotta
of
get
10.
it in there somewhere.
Yeah, let's just jerk off like we used to.
Oof.
Wasn't expecting that. Other than that, it was enjoyable. I wasn't bored while reading it. That's something. It was pretty easy to get through.
How many razor
minus that
blades?
one fluff section with Ginny. It was pretty fluffy.
So not many razor blades.
Razor blades? Are we doing this out of 5 razor
Out of the
blades?
same rating system you use for everything else.
Yeah, okay, so maybe like a 6 razor blades out of 10.
Nice.
This is mostly just Harry learning about PTSD and then helping Ron. But the beginning part where Ron almost kills himself is pretty angsty.
He could have helped Ron a little more at the end.
He could have. He could have.
I just wanted the story to have a happy ending,
Yeah, I think Ron wanted that.
Oh, it had a happy ending.
Could have been happier.
It could have been a double happy.
It could have been happy for both of them.
Well, it's just not that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, relationships change. You can't always jerk off with each other like you used to.
Yeah,
No,
not like
you used to. In school.
In school.
Ooh.
Yes.
What?
If you have magic, do you even need to touch yourself to jerk off?
Surely there'd be a potion for that.
Me.
Can you send J.K. Rowling a tweet
I'll
and ask
tweet
her
her.
about that?
I'll tweet her real quick.
How
Yeah.
different is wizard and witches masturbation versus muggle masturbation?
Well, we already know about wizard abortion. They have
What?
to spell fetus deletus.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh, thank you.
For a second I was like, what?
You were like, oh god.
Listen, my immortal should just go ahead and be canon. Everything in it.
I agree.
Yeah, where J.K. Rowling, in your next book, please include Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way. Please.
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 We're all yearning for
That's
that.
the only way you'll keep me invested in this universe you've created.
Honestly, I've never picked up a single Harry Potter book, but if I knew that was in it, I'd definitely read it.
I've read them all. Even The
I
Cursed Child.
regret that
Well,
for you.
half of it.
I've read the 5th book.
Why?
Only fifth.
The 5th book is the
My
worst
mom
one.
got it for me for Christmas when I was 11 and was just like,
Here's one of them. Who
here's a
cares about
book,
the
and I was
order?
like, this is like the 5th book. I think it was the 5th one. It was blue. The cover was blue.
Yeah, that's the 5th book.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the 5th book because a lot of it feels like fluff.
What's the 5th book called?
Order of the Phoenix.
Oh.
Order of the Phoenix is just very long, and it doesn't need to be as long as it
There's
is.
just a lot of stuff like Dementors and everything where he's like, oh, they're around me.
Yeah, and they at the end they invade the Ministry of Magic,
Yeah.
and Neville
Stuff
sees
happens.
his parents. and he's like, oh god. And some other stuff
I'm a
happens.
pudgy pure blood packing unicorn power. There's a song about Neville Longbottom.
Yeah, there is. It's not good.
I enjoy the song.
You know what we should figure out?
What?
What we're gonna read for the next episode.
That's true.
Do we want a fandom or a tag?
Well, we never have any luck with tags.
Well, we do have luck. We all read something. But we're not great at, like... we barely try to explain the tag. We just read it.
Well, there's not much to explain
Not much about
Yangst.
Yangst. Everyone should know what that
We
is.
explained
It's
the high school
self-explanatory.
one,
That's true.
but it's gone.
That episode's deleted.
Deleted.
There
the
will
fetus.
never be a high school AU episode because it was deleted by someone.
Who will
He
not
will
be
not be
named.
named.
Who will not be named? Fuck him. He sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
He ruined
Yeah.
the podcast.
So fandom,
Pokemon.
Pokemon,
Pokemon.
Finally, we'll see if Meowth can consent.
He can talk, so he must
he
be
can
able
talk.
to consent.
He can no.
I mean, surely he could consent, right? He's
Well, I mean,
very self-aware.
You know, think about it. All the Pokemon can talk. Because
No, but
in
Meowth,
the anime,
we don't
Meowth
know
can
how
speak
much-
English.
Yeah, that's a big part of
No,
consent.
but listen.
Well, there are other Pokemon who can talk too.
This
Sure.
was in the
Mewtwo.
last episode, but there was a fan fiction I did not read about Shrek,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, God.
and in one of the tags was like, is it still bestiality if the animal's like sentient or whatever? I'm like, number one, really?
The answer is yes, but also, Donkey can consent.
Donkey can consent.
But it's bad.
I'm not saying it's not bad.
It's not as bad as it could be.
If it were an animal that couldn't consent, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right,
So we're gonna read a
I'm gonna
Pokemon
end on
fanfic.
yes, they can consent, but it's bad and don't
Oh,
do
yeah,
it because that's
it's
still
bad.
bestiality and you're a
It's
bad
a
person.
weird
And
power
bestiality is
dynamic.
illegal.
It
You're
is.
keeping that Pokemon in
It's
like
animal
a sphere.
abuse.
Well, they already abuse their animals every time they send them out to fight,
I-
don't they?
Yeah, but isn't it like comfy inside the Pokeball?
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I
if
saw a
it
YouTube
is.
video on this, but I don't remember. I'm not too invested in the Pokemon lore.
You know, we all get comfortable in our own prisons eventually. Slaves to
When will the
ourselves.
Pokemon rise up?
Never.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, they kind
Rise
of
up,
did
comrades.
in Detective Pikachu, but we've already talked about that.
Daddy.
Can't have daddy issues without daddy.
Okay, that's a good place to end it all.
And like daddy left you, we're going to leave this episode of the podcast.
Oh no.
No, maybe not the best
But
note to
unlike
end
your dad,
on.
we're coming back next
We are, hopefully. Maybe I won't delete this episode of the podcast.
I hope.
Deletus the fetus.
Fetus deletus.
Farewell, comrades. Rise up against your masters.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.